Welcome to The Alternative with me, Jay Mohr. And like the New England Patriots, we're blessed. First up, this is what I know. Do I have to go to the bathroom? Do you? Are we okay? Are we going to die? What if we get pulled over? What'll happen? There's nothing to drink? What do you mean there's nothing to drink? Tennis great Martina Navratilova has been named Health and Fitness Ambassador for the AARP. Well, that's great, because the AARP is filled with old men with boobs, so a woman with an Adam's apple makes sense. Navratilova is expected to use her experience to educate retirees on the importance of eating healthy, exercising, and checking your balls for cancer. A man claiming to be Mets pitcher John Maine has been asking women all over New York to try on their dresses. And that makes perfect sense to me. What's more feminine than a Mets uniform? Oh, I'm terrible! According to reports, Kansas State forward Bill Walker ran to the sidelines, grabbed a bunch of towels, stuffed them down his shorts, and took a leak during a timeout in last week's game with Oregon. What? Bro, even the WNBA knows you got to tie it off during a game. Look, we all know when you got to go, but not on the sidelines. Find a Gatorade bottle, a bush, a mascot. Do you have any idea how many times the Stanford tree has been sprayed? You know, maybe the Knicks can draft this guy. They've been taking a dump on the court all season. Speaking of taking dumps, Raider news. Al Davis says he's not going to retire until he gets 2 more Super Bowls. Al Davis, I hate to break it to you, but unless by Super Bowls you mean disappointment, it ain't going to happen. Al, I'm not saying you're old, but at this point you're lucky if you make it to the toilet bowl in time, much less the Super Bowl. You make Mr. Burns from The Simpsons look like Tom Brady. There are a lot of things that are more likely than you winning 2 more Super Bowls. John Madden being named sexiest man in football. Bill Belichick wins Humanitarian of the Year award. Chad Johnson is fined for hugging officials. Reviewed plays will not be decided by instant replay, but by wacky sideline improv troops. Charlie Weiss will return to the NFL while his gut continues to coach at Notre Dame. All right, that's too long of a run of jokes. Al Davis, the Raiders are not going to win a Super Bowl before you die. I'm sorry. You wear a jumpsuit. You should never wear a jumpsuit unless your first name is Evil and your last name is Knievel. Look where it got him. According to reports, Tony Romo gives girlfriend Jessica Simpson a gift every day. I don't know what kind of gifts Tony is sending her, but I've got a suggestion. How about an acting coach? Now it's time for a new segment called What is the Stanley Cup Thinking? I wish people would stop peeing in me. And that was, what is the Stanley Cup thinking? New bits. Who knew the Stanley Cup and Britney Spears had so much in common? That's disgusting. That's 2 jokes about pee in one webisode. No wonder we're on the internet. Internet? Leave it. Let the people know it's imperfect. Can we work, or you guys want to massage each other's calves a little more? Oh, hey, Bex! It's a long time no see. How have you been? I've been injured, JJ. Bex, according to the New York Post this week, your wife said that she always sleeps in the nude. Is that true? Yes, it's true. It's fine at home, but quite embarrassing when she dozes off in church. What am I eating? Lard, mostly. Just lard. Butter. But I mean, butter's my weakness. I put butter on my lard. Time to give out this week's game ball. This week, the honor goes to Denver running back Travis Henry. Turns out he passed, but he didn't puff. That's right. Travis Henry won his appeal of a 1-year suspension for failing the league's substance abuse policy. For once, a denial that actually meant something. Too often in sports, an accusation results in a denial about as solid as an Isaiah Thomas game plan. It's less a statement of fact and more of a stall tactic. If anyone looks baked on the Broncos, check out Jay Cutler. I've seen clearer eyes at a dead show. It's a shame that Henry's innocence won't be proclaimed as loudly as his accusation was. And big props to the Denver Broncos for standing by their man. They provided the NFL with more DNA than Paris Hilton's party panties. Say that 3 times fast. Paris Hilton's party panties. And spit all over myself. All right, this guy took a polygraph and provided hair samples. Hair samples? Who knew? I guess that explains why Ricky Williams lost the dreadlocks. If anyone needs to smoke weed, it's Henry. All right? He has 9 kids with 9 different women. If that doesn't warrant a medicinal card, I don't know what does. 9 kids. What's he trying to do? Create his own football team? He should live in a shoe. Maybe his agent should negotiate a condom clause. Isn't weed supposed to make you sterile? Yet more proof of his innocence. Hey, you know what? Maybe you earn some extra cash by selling your clean hair on the Tour de France. Henry. Congratulations, Travis Henry. Just because you play in the Mile High City doesn't mean you are. Enjoy this game ball, but do yourself a favor and don't make a bong out of it. This week's jockstrap goes to the BCS. If there was ever a reason for a playoff system, it's now, this year. There was absolutely no rhyme nor reason that Ohio State and LSU were in the national championship game. Saturday night, LSU was number 7. Ohio State didn't play. Sunday, they're in the championship game. I know number 1 and number 2 lost, but how did number 7 jump 5 spots? That makes about as much sense as a physics lecture given by Ricky Henderson. Ricky thinks, Ricky, forget it. LSU has 2 losses. Hawaii had 0 losses. They did their job. They couldn't have played better. Why aren't they in the big game? Is it because they have names that are impossible to pronounce? How about Georgia? They were number 4. LSU has no business being in this game. Or do they? They were undefeated in regulation. Both of their losses came in triple overtime. Of course they deserve to be there. See, all right, you see what I'm saying? This game solves nothing. Give us an 18 playoff. It's what everyone wants. You're like the crappy host that keeps ordering veggie pizza when you know everyone wants pepperoni. The Fox network makes a lot of money on the BCS, and they're a wonderful network at that. And they're our boss. So, and your mother, all right? The one thing we don't need a playoff system for is to decide who gets this week's jockstrap. The BCS, you get the jockstrap. I gotta get to 24-hour fitness before they close. That makes the cut, right? It's time for our weekly NFL picks with my lovely wife, Nikki Cox, who is not here anymore. Because, I mean, you guys are here to look at me, not my fine wife. It's about this guy. I know I look good. I was an oper. My wife got 3 out of 5, which means my lead is hanging by a thread. On the season, my wife's 23-27, and I'm a perfect 24-26. First game up, the San Diego Chargers at the Tennessee Titans. My wife is going to take the Titans. I think this game is going to end in a tie. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. Now, Tony Romo is on a roll, and the Cowboys do have Terrell Owens, and that's why my wife is going to take the Lions. This game is going to end in a tie. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to visit the New England Patriots, and without a doubt, this is the game of the week, the last real test for the Patriots this season. My wife has taken the Steelers. That's her lock of the week. Overtime, this game ends in a tie. The New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. How many picks will Eli throw this week? I'm taking... Let me ask my wife first. We both think this game's going to end in a tie. All right, you can have the Eagles. My wife's taking the Eagles. I think the game ends in a tie. You know what? Fine. I'll take the Giants. My wife takes the Eagles. I just like watching the names go back and forth in the bottom of the screen. You know what? I take the Giants. I'm going to take the Eagles. My wife's going to take the Giants. No. Go back. So for the record, my wife's taking the Eagles. I'm taking the Giants. The Indianapolis Colts at the Baltimore Ravens. All right, did last week's game piss the Ravens off or what? Are they ready to kick some Colts butt? My wife is going to take the Colts, of course, because she loves Peyton Manning. It's like her favorite actor in the world. I'm going to, this game's going to end in a tie. You know what? This game will end. This game will never start. Something's going to happen. And this game will never be started. It'll be a double forfeit. All right, remember who has the best record at the end of the season wins $1 million. Thanks for playing. I wish people would stop peeing in me. That's all for this week. If you see Tim Tebow this weekend, congratulate him on his Heisman. That's right, I said it. We'll see you next time for an all-new episode. Until then, screw the mainstream. You don't have to wear a suit to talk sports. Come on, Cheetos!